Hello, everybody. Today we're going to discuss how to deal with a person who uses tactics against you. Um, Tactics are pretty much well, what is a tactic? A tactic, to me, without looking up the definition and giving you the research facts of how to deal with the person who's using tactics against you, a tactic is pretty much like an investigation or trying to pull information from you and then, you know, use that information to gather more information. Usually, tactics are seen on people, for a DUI case, DUI, drunk driver case, or drunk people are intoxicated people. A sober mind usually catches these tactics, and at that point just becomes a game. Um, but I don't know why, people in society believe tactics should be used on everybody. Everybody should be used tactic against. Every day, every time I step out to society, someone is trying to use a tactic to get closer, or pull information from me, or whether they're a thief or just a person of just trying to harm. And we're going to discuss how to deal with that. So I did the research, and the researchers state, one, identify and name the tactic. Recognize what they are doing to neutralize their power, whether it's gaslighting, guilt tripping, blame shifting, or the silent treatment. Now, gaslighting is a confusing term that I've once heard for the first time almost 8 years ago. Gaslighting means making you question your own reality. And guilt tripping. Guilt tripping is making you feel responsible for their choice, which ultimately you shouldn't feel responsible, but sometimes that you can fall into that trap right there. Blame shifting. Blame shifting is turning the conversation around. And then the most useful one that people try to use is the silent treatment, withdrawing communication to force compliance. Um, Now, when you're dealing with someone who's using a tactic against you, what I am telling you is not a get out of jail free card. It is basically, when you feel that you're in it, like in a work environment or at school or in public, and this tactic could lead to, emotional standpoint from you or the other person. So we're trying to show you how to, how to deal with or how to guide yourself out of that scenario. Now, if you're in trouble with the laws, this may not help you. I suggest you give give truthful answers. If you did the crime, um, admit to it. If you didn't do the crime, tell them that you didn't do the crime. Um, you know, without reason for me justifying why I said that. Number two, use the gray rock method. Become uninteresting. Show no reaction. Do not show anger or excitement. And with being boring, right? That means respond with short answers and showing no reaction, basically meaning do not show anger or excitement. And then they have set firm boundaries. Keep your tone calm and neutral. Use I statements plus your limits. So use your tone. That means your voice, how you're speaking to them, calm and neutral. Um, and that ties into showing no reaction and using the I statement plus your limit. So, for example, you're in a conversation and the person using the tactic starts to yell. You will say something like this that the researchers gave us: I will not continue the conversation if there is yelling, which is perfect. Number four, remove yourself from the situation, which I've always say to do in times of, you know, a potential threatening situation, argument, tactic. Um, I say that, but you don't have to follow it. There's 1 to 3 gives you option. This is option 4. Don't argue. Calmly state you are walking away or walk away in heated or manipulative conversations. Um, Calmly state you are walking away. I feel like walking away saves, your energy just a tad bit, but calmly saying you're walking away lets the person know that you're walking away for your own safety. Walking away does leave a little gray area. It it could turn into them being feel like they're threatened because you're walking away, for something to come back with. I feel like if you're going to state you're going to walk away, state you're going to walk away and not come back. And then lastly, physically leave the room and end the communication politely. Yes, politely is going to be very difficult to do if you are in a heated conversation with someone who is using a tactic, to pretty much do whatever they want to you at the scene. Um, so physically leave the room, whether it's on the internet, leave the chat, leave the conversation, um, mm, block the person. If you're in the workforce, clock out. Um, and if your supervisor or manager calls you, or a regional manager or president, depending on your position, um, you would just clock out and answer them politely, like, "Hey, no, they're using tactics against me to force me to do more labor than everyone else, or give more money out, spend more money, purchase unnecessary equipment, uh, mm, are in school, students using tactics against you to lower the grades, or I mean, lower the minimum so they can get higher grades, or other teachers coming at you to take on other types of duties that's not in your scope of work, or if you're a student, teachers or professors, using tactics against you to um, mm, do things that's unnecessary of the lesson, especially if it's not for your betterment. So I appreciate you all for tuning into the CCAU2G show. And today we discuss how to deal with the person who uses tactics against you. I hope you all find this information helpful, and where we are trying to help you be the best person that you truly are. Thank you.